let's shift back to the NBA because I will never, as long as I live, never miss an opportunity to take shots at Cleveland sports. I'll never do that. And when one team wins, another team's got to lose. And the Knicks were dominant in their run to winning the Eastern Conference Finals. And the Cavs in their own right were pretty bad. Got smoked. Up big in game one, blew the lead. That was it. That series is over right there. And while we can blame Kenny Atkinson, who, as evidenced by over the weekend and what we discussed on Monday's show, believes that you can win a series through analytics rather than scoring more points than another team. We can blame Donovan Mitchell for not playing his best series, and he did not. We can blame a lot of different people. But I am just flabbergasted. I'm flabbergasted that anybody in their right mind who knows jack squat about basketball could possibly think in their head, you know, a team that employs James Harden, they can go win the championship. Given the fact that James Harden is, and has always been, the most notorious playoff choke artist in the history of professional sports. And the numbers back it up. So we can show you what he did in Game 4. He was awful. He had 12 points, 4 rebounds. He had 2 assists as the point guard of this team. 5 turnovers. He was 2 for 8 from the field, over 6 from 3. He hit his free throws, but that was it. And if you also look at what James Harden did in these Eastern Conference Finals when the lights got bright, he was he was awful there too. He averaged more turnovers than assists. He averaged 16 a game on 38% shooting for the field and 17% from three-point range. James Harden was bad. James Harden's always bad in the postseason. And James Harden, despite, you can say, well, the Cavs got to the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah, they got there because of Donovan Mitchell and Jared Allen. And in the case of the first round against Toronto, they were just better than the Raptors. That series should have never gone 7. They beat Detroit because Donovan Mitchell was phenomenal in 2 of the last 4 games of that series. Jared Allen was great in Game 7, and also the Detroit Pistons don't know how to play offensive basketball. Like we saw them. That was an issue. You can say, well, they got there and Harden was there. It wasn't like Harden was helping them. Harden in elimination games this year. 13 points in elimination games. 13 points. Again, more turnovers than assists. 5 assists to 3.7, or rather 5 turnovers to 3.7 assists. In elimination games this postseason, these are real numbers. He shot 25% from the field and 5% from three-point range. He hit 1 3 in the 3 elimination games, all of 2 Game 7s and the Game 4 against the Knicks. He hit 1 3-pointer in the elimination games that he played this postseason for the Cavs. And we add to the resume, that of which is the worst, and it's not even remotely close, of any superstar. At one point, he was a superstar. He was a league MVP back in 2018. Multi-time scoring champion. His resume in the regular season is fantastic. For any superstar in NBA history, there is no postseason resume that even comes close to being as bad as this guy. Put up the graphic. I mean, it's going to take a minute. James Harden has 33 games with more turnovers than made shots. By the way, he has 49 games with as many turnovers as made shots. He has 24 games with 2 or fewer made shots. 39 games with 3 or fewer made shots. 59 games with 4 or fewer made shots. He has 56 playoff games in his career, ladies and gentlemen, with a field goal percentage under 35%. He has more elimination games scoring under 20, 14, than over 30, 8. He is 3-4 in his last 7 Game 7s. Again, those last 2 wins, he was atrocious in both. And he is now 12-16 in elimination games. And add to that, nobody, and I mean nobody, deflects blame. It's like the Aaron Rodgers of the NBA when it comes to deflecting blame or not taking accountability for poor performance. This is what James Harden had to say. He was asked about, hey, do you guys feel like you could have, certain aspects, maybe won the series or whatever? And Harden said this, after getting swept, by the way, swept off the floor.
Yeah, it was 4-0, but I don't think we had a chance as far as our best shot, from a standpoint of the circumstances. Obviously they dominated us 4-0, but Yeah, I don't know if I can necessarily answer that question, just because genuinely I do feel like we are the better team, but you know, series wise, you know, it didn't show it. So, tough question to answer.
Tough question to answer. I mean, it's okay. You don't have to like rip your teammates or anything. That'd be bad too. But you can also say I've watched a lot of LeBron press conferences over the years, and I think he even said it during the series against Oklahoma City this year. Like, yeah, man, it's hard when you don't have a guy who averaged 33 a game, and they're the kind of team that they are in Oklahoma City. Like, we're gonna have to play darn near flawless to win this series. And LeBron has said, many of the great players in the NBA have said over the years, like, yeah, we're not a championship team. Steve Kerr has said, not a player, but Steve Kerr said with the Warriors, like, yeah, we maybe need to, if the Warriors have been underachieving or whatever, like, yeah, we maybe need to rein our expectations a little bit for what we can accomplish each year. Like this, I've been on championship teams. This ain't one. Like, Kerr will be blunt. Bron will be blunt. Harden doesn't have to go that far, say, hey, we're not a championship team. It's like, well, you were one of the final four teams left. You went pretty far in the playoffs. But he can't say, I know we got swept. I know we got crushed in 3 of the 4 games, and in the one game that was close, we blew a 22-point lead in the fourth quarter. But I think we're better. That it's not as worse as what Kenny Atkins said. Atkinson said it's not far off. And then when you hear the reporting out of Cleveland from people like Brian Windhorst who are saying, yeah, they're probably going to bring him back. Okay. Listen, I rip Cleveland all the time for delusion, for bad front office moves or what have you. But there are certain things that are so obvious that don't even take a second thought. I've always said, what is the Declaration of Independence say? What are the first words? We hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. It's like it's so obvious. You just know it inherently. You know it inherently. When you absolutely need him the most, that is when he's going to play his worst basketball. That is when he's going to not fall asleep on defense, just straight up not play defense. We don't have the rights to show footage on this show because this podcast will get demonetized, and we don't want that. But if you go back and watch James Harden the 4 games of the series, particularly when he's on Jalen Brunson, I mean, Brunson's not even having to get in his bag in order to create separation. He's just going right past James Harden. There was a play at the end of Game 3 where it wasn't just Harden, it was the whole Cavs team, but where Mike Breen says on the broadcast, and Mike Breen's not ripping anybody on the broadcast, where he's like, yeah, the Cavs just stopped playing on that possession when Brunson just drives coast to coast for a layup. Harden's been doing that for years in the postseason. Defense is, in many ways, kind of beneath him. He doesn't really believe in it. No one's asking James Harden to be an elite defender. They're asking him to at least try on defense, to play team defense. He doesn't do that. He's never done it. James Harden quit on, what is this now, 5 teams? Four teams, I think. The Houston Rockets, the Brooklyn Nets, the Philadelphia 76ers, and the Clippers. That's 4 teams. Each of those squads thought they were adding him to make them a championship contender. And in each of those situations, it was an ugly divorce. In Brooklyn, it was a disaster. He didn't like Kyrie, didn't think he was getting the requisite opportunities. They traded him to Philly. And then he was with Joel Embiid, and he didn't like playing with Embiid, I guess, or had issues with the front office. And so they traded him to the Clippers. And before that, by the way, before Brooklyn, he quit on Houston and literally gained weight. Whether it was fake or real, he gained weight in order to force a trade. And then obviously with the Clippers, he's like, yeah, I want out of here. And now he's with the Cleveland Cavaliers. Cleveland's trying to attract LeBron James to finish his career there. It makes sense. LeBron's obviously the greatest Cav ever. He's from Akron, king of Akron, all of it, won a championship in 2016. I get the sentimentality for LeBron. And if Harden's not there, I think it would be great if LeBron went back to Cleveland. He'd be out of his effing mind to go back with that guy still there. Takes no accountability, does not believe in playing defense, is not a good teammate, as evidenced by the fact he's quit on 4 teams prior to Cleveland. And above all, when it comes to on-court production, maybe I can put up with some of those things if you show up in the biggest games. No, in some cases, you flat out quit in the biggest games. Your body language sucks. Your effort sucks. Your aggressiveness is non-existent. You take 8 shots in an elimination game. That's who he's always been. And so the Cavs, or frankly any team for that matter, that is adding Harden with the belief, not to say like no team should sign him, but with the belief, oh, he can get us over the top. Well, he's better than Darius Garland. Okay, he is better than Darius Garland. We agree on that. By the way, not long-term, he's not better than Darius Garland, but hey, whatever. Darius Garland wasn't good in the playoffs last year, struggled to stay healthy. I'd have taken Darius Garland over this nonsense. I'd have taken Darius Garland over 25% shooting and 5% from three in elimination games. Could have been that bad, right? And so this is straight delusion if the Cavs are wanting to bring them back. Like, hey, maybe a full season in Cleveland. Usually it's the full season going in where Harden ends up winning out. Brooklyn, his first full season there was supposed to be, he got traded to Philly. And then with Philly, I guess it was his second full season, or in theory, in Philadelphia, he wants out. And with the Clippers, his third full season, or in theory, second full season in Clippers, he wants out. So if they think, hey, I can change him. What? We're 17 years in. What evidence do you have that that would be the case? What? Do tell. What evidence? Or is it maybe stemming from the fact that we probably shouldn't have traded Garland for Harden, and now we feel like we kind of have to bring him back. Otherwise, we don't have a point guard. To which I'd say, then just bring in LeBron. LeBron can run point. We know that. Problem solved. And he'll at least try on defense. He's not the defender he once was, but he'll, big key possessions, Bron's locked in. Harden didn't even attempt to play defense. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube, and be sure to go click that big red subscribe button and check out the other clips and full shows from Carving It Up Live, as well as our other incredible content creators here on the Grid Network.